Welcome to the West Coast Warm Water Weekend Triathlon. For the last 6 years, early in March, the most beautiful triathlon in the world takes place at Kralbaai on the West Coast. The founder of this race, well-known triathlete and publicist Paul Inkpin, with me once again this year, and watching the growth over the last 6 years, Paul, must make you very proud.
Absolutely, Paulie, and hearing you say that from the voice of triathlon makes me feel fantastic, because this was all about creating something magical, something beautiful, something family-friendly, within a trundle from Cape Town, where we are lacking water resources that are swimmable, and we've got this gem lying there waiting for swimmers, cyclists and runners.
Well, Kralbaai definitely is the Caribbean of the West Coast, and no wonder one of our largest healthy lifestyle insurance companies got involved in this sellout unique event.
So My Way has been around 7 or 8 years now, and I think fairly synonymous with mountain biking in particular. My Way Life started up about 12 months ago, and I think fitness and racing and mountain biking, triathlons is very much in the DNA of many of the people that work at My Way Life and at My Way, and it was something that we decided is fairly closely aligned to health and wellness and fitness and that type of thing, and it was something that we felt it was a market we'd like to get into and support. And I think the Warm Water Weekend is just a special event. I don't think that there are many places around the world that you're able to participate in an event like this. I think it's got the right balance between, you've got some really great athletes out here participating, and they don't mind also being out amongst the families and getting involved, and they are fantastic interacting with the families, giving autographs, speaking to the people. So I think two things stand out for me is I think just the beauty of the place, and I don't think that it's available many places in the world, if any. And the mix of people that are out here is just fantastic. There's a bit of everything for everyone.
The West Coast National Park really is not only a scenic but a safe haven for everybody taking part this weekend. And Paul, the nice thing about it is it goes from hardcore triathletes and Ironmen right down to the children.
Yeah, absolutely. This event was created to provide a platform for all levels of triathletes to experience the park. We've got kids, we've got long mountain bikers, short mountain bikers, long road, short road. There's something for everybody, there really is.
Well, whatever triathlon you do, the scenery is just world class all around you. For the long tri though, you're going to be doing a 2-kilometre swim, a 70-kilometre road ride, or a 55-kilometre mountain bike leg, and finally finishing off with a great 10k trail run. The short route, virtually half of the long route, 1-kilometre swim, a 40-kilometre road ride, or a 35-kilometre mountain bike leg, finishing off with an amazing 7-kilometre run. And every part of that course up there, Paul, is just scenically beautiful with world-class scenery and wildlife running around you.
Absolutely. The entire event is held within the West Coast National Park, so there's not an inch that's not pretty.
Yeah, my ultimate goal is to perform well at the full Ironman distance, to go to Kona and get a top 10 or get a podium and really perform there. That's definitely, absolutely the goal. It's great that I've got the speed to perform at a 70.3 level, and I think that's very important now. And you see it in the guys who are winning the full Ironmans, they're able to win the 70.3s as well. Your Jan Frodeno, Sebastian Kienle's. If you haven't got that 70.3 speed, it's hard to even keep up in a full Ironman now. The guys are pushing it that hard. So no, I'm happy with where I am now. I don't think I've had my ideal Ironman race. I don't know if you ever will, but it's great to be performing at the 70.3s, and hopefully in the next few years I can start converting that and just keep it constant throughout the 180 Ks on the bike and the marathon on the run, and pull off some top results in the full Ironman.
And unsurprisingly, Theo Blicknote, the torpedo, looking behind him to see where Matt Troutman was. In the absence of Stuart Murray, the injured defending champion, Matt was the man to beat for sure, but he had Conrad Stoltz, Dean Hopf, a couple of good quality guys behind him. So certainly exciting swim going on here.
The nice thing about your race is that the off-road triathlon takes part at the same time as the tar triathlon, and all the swimmers in the water at the same time. Matt Troutman, of course, the man who we're going to be watching out on the tar, who just won the 2016 half Ironman title in East London. It was absolutely amazing having him here.
Yeah, he's the man of the moment. He's been in the sport for 2 years, or just over 2 years, from a sailing background, and he is just immense. He trains under Brett Sutton, a coach that made people like Chrissy Wellington famous, and he puts in an amazing amount of mileage. He's ripped to pieces, and I think he's got to be our strongest man from South Africa, and certainly an overall contender in PE in a month's time.
Well, there's the man of the moment, Matt Troutman in his Hube and very distinctive Red Bull helmet, running out of transition, about to start his 70-kilometer bike leg. But right behind him, this young man who's been competing in Europe, Jean-Paul Berger, is going to give him a go for his money today. Emma Alsop, our First Lady, a well-known long-distance swimmer, and I think she's feeling a bit starstruck climbing out the water ahead of some very, very talented ladies.
It's been a fantastic weekend. It's my first time here on the West Coast and the first time in the West Coast National Park. Obviously also competing here at your event pool. And it's been fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It's different to all other races. Being on the beach the whole time, a very Capetonian feel to it. And a lot of people here from Johannesburg, I think they really enjoyed it, and it's been an experience for them.
Well, it just shows you the quality of our front markers out there, the back markers on the 2K swim, having only completed their first lap, and our leaders already on the tar. Paul, you really had a great cross-section of talent here.
Yeah, and that was the whole intention. I mean, we have people who come there to use mountain bikes on the road ride, but at the same time you've got the big guns coming with their disc wheels, and nobody feels out of place. It's not about your results, it's really about enjoying yourself in nature, but at the same time pushing yourself performance-wise.
And nothing like bringing down the grandstand marquee with all the spectators in it right onto the beach, which must have been amazing for the atmosphere.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why it's a weekend and not a one-day event in and out. You know, you want to spend time with your family in a beautiful place like this. We had food in the tent, we had music, we had prize giving, we had all kinds of entertainment, we had people throwing frisbees, we had a hermit crab race even. So you had the whole afternoon, once low tide has arrived, just to lie there, chill and enjoy the afternoon in one of the most beautiful places in the world.
A hermit crab race that could only happen on the West Coast, as we watch a short route try leaving the beach and hitting that beautiful azure 19.5 degrees. Who can believe the warm water there?
Absolutely. I mean, that's why we call it the West Coast Warm Water Weekend. People always laugh and say, West Coast, warm? Are you nuts? But it really is.
I don't know, I think it's just important to have someone behind you or at your side. Of course I'm there making the food and making sure that he's looked after. So I like to think that that's an important role that I have in this, because it's quite an independent sport, where he's on his own a lot, he's training alone, he's racing alone. You can't do much to help him through that. So it's the other little bits that I try to be there for him, and I hope I do. Definitely help him more on the social media side of things and a bit of the planning and planning side of things. But yeah, he's also quite independent when it comes to planning. But it's always a team effort of what's he going to be doing and how's he going to be getting places. But I am the one on Twitter that everybody's hearing from.
Well, behind every successful man, there is not an amazed but dedicated woman in this case. And back to the long-distance triathlon race. Conrad Stoltz, the caveman, really turning on the power, 4 times Xterra world champion. Dean Hopfen just signaling to the bike, I'm all right. Little did he know.
Yeah, here comes the caveman himself, the Watt monster. He's been retired for a while, but he came out of retirement just to smash the field. Lovely having him back. He was the original winner in 2010. And here he goes up into 3rd place, and not too long before he attacked Jean-Paul Berger too in pursuit of Matt Troutman.
He's always been an amazing, dedicated sportsman, 40 years old now, and just shows you age means absolutely nothing in sport. As long as your mind is young, your body will stay young with it.
That's the truth. He loves it. If you love what you do, you'll do it forever. He's the new dad. And here's got Emma Alsop, the long-distance swimming champion, enjoying her lead for a while. She's out there on the bike. She's training for Ironman in a month's time.
Slightly bemused at this stage, but right behind her there, that's Keelan from Breda, An amazing runner, training for the Ironman as well, and really an established girl this. But behind them, the Uber bikers, Kelly van der Toorn, Ninka van Schaik, they are still making their way up to the front. And meanwhile, back at the Grand Marquee, it is time for the kids and mums to start fighting about let's play and have fun.
Yeah, the most exciting moments of the day, the kids splash and dash for 2 to 7-year-olds and then 7 to 12-year-olds.
Doesn't dancing beats walking? Beat the wind. The last swimmer is around.
The Kids Splash and Dash was designed to give the kids a safe place in a beautiful venue for a child who might not aggressively pursue sport, but when they get to a place like this, just to swim around the jetty in this beautiful blue water, then to run along this white sand beach, go over the rocks in the background, come around the point. It's an adventure more than a race. It's an adventure more than organized sport. Their family are here. They just revel in it. So kids of all ages and all types come here and experience time out with their families. And what's critical is we know from Let's Play's research that the average time spent with a family, with a child, between the parents and the child, is 9 minutes, which is ridiculous. So to spend time away a whole weekend without cell phones, no TVs, the reception here is terrible. It's just our way of making sure people can see that there is a way in the backyard of a neighborhood to come and do stuff that involves real quality time together, active time together, and a balanced life.
I came first and I really enjoyed the swim because it was warm, but then there were a few tough bits with the rocks further down on the run, but most of all I really enjoyed it.
And what's so great is we got Mila, the overall winner, right here with us. Mila, the whole active family weekend, what stood out for you? What did you enjoy?
Well, I really love doing something like this in such a lovely environment, and it's a lot of fun. You get to meet lots of new people, everybody's having fun and everybody's happy.
Are you going to do more triathlons?
Definitely.
No surprise seeing Michael Lord leading up the mountain bike race, the junior ITU long course champion, and right behind him the Xterra man, Theo Blechnout. You can't miss that Matt McConaughey look. And then of course there were the normal human beings just out there to enjoy themselves, and that's what this race is all about, Paul.
Yeah, people have fun. I mean, you can see some guys taking it very seriously, others not. There's Brenton Ashby, a seasoned campaigner, leading out the vets long mountain bike. But yeah, there were guys who just took their time, stopped to take photographs, enjoy the views, and others who were flat at it all day long.
Well, now seeing Pete Viljoen straight from the corporate boardroom, making millions on investments. He's into a really healthy sport called triathlons now.
Yeah, that's it. It really is the new golf. You know, these guys are out there with their families doing stuff in beautiful places rather than getting frustrated, eating pies and gravy and beer and losing bets.
And this really is beautiful, and the great thing about this weekend, it brought so many women into the sport. They didn't feel like they had to prove anything. They just knew amongst family, they were amongst friends, and they could have an absolute ball whilst getting fit.
Yeah, and their kids were being taken care of down on the beach doing the kids races. And it's quite interesting to hear a guy like Till Schenk, the international European triathlon commentator, saying that his most noticeable characteristic is that nobody asked him his finishing time. Everybody just asked him how it was.
Well, talk about finishing time. The man just disappearing up the stairs, Colin van Zyl, the most famous man never to have won a world championship, taking part in your event as well.
Yeah, Mr. Specialized. He had the quickest bike in the short distance. He was amazing, but he's still getting his steps together for the big race in the waterfront in a month's time.
Talk about amazing. Coming off the bike leg in second place behind Matt Troutman, who is too quick for our cameraman. That is the caveman himself.
Yeah, Caveman's been racing with us for years. He carries the race number 1 since he won the 2010 inaugural event. He's here with his new little baby girl, and he said she absolutely loved camping. We offered him a room at the stables, but he absolutely insisted that camping was the only way the Caveman does business.
We'll talk about camping. Some of these guys and girls are really camping in T4 transition, aren't they? It's a pretty hot day.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't take time out to take pictures, soak up the environment? And I mean, you look at this place. There's not a more beautiful place to do triathlon in the world. We really believe it is the most beautiful triathlon on the planet.
Talk about one of the best in the world on the planet. That's him, Matt Troutman, just floating over the soft sand on 16 Mile Beach and catching up, well, trying to catch up there. The young man who's taken over second place, young in years, rich in talent, Jean-Paul Berger, is really flying his flag out there today. And there we see, way in the background, the man who crushed the bike leg, the caveman, Conrad Stoltz. Well, 90 kilograms of pure muscle do not mix with soft beach sand.
He He absolutely loves it, and he was the guy who told us there's only one way to run on beach sand is with flat feet. Don't try and run on your toes.
I enjoyed the run. I love being out here and the views are spectacular. I think running is free in sports, as that you don't have to worry about bike maintenance, you just have to put on your shoes and go. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I'll definitely be back next year. I was here last year, so I'll definitely come back next year.
Well, our Ned Group investment, Waterpoint, really attracted most of the men, and I wonder why.
Not too bad looking for silver service, especially when you've been going this long and it's the tough part along the beach.
Well, they really are no aces, and going the extra mile as they run next to our triathletes, that's exactly what you need halfway through the run.
Yeah, there were guys who complained. There were guys who say, oh, the beach run is so tough after a tough bike, but that's what it's all about. Nobody in South Africa remembers easy races.
Well, and whilst the men and women were absolutely enjoying themselves on the triathlon course, the kids were being taught stand-up paddling.
Yeah, it's such fun. I mean, it's the safest place in the world. Stand-up paddling's so good for you, and it's such a great way to explore the ocean. So yeah, there was something for everybody. Their kids were throwing frisbees. They were just having a jaw.
And whilst they were amusing themselves, Dad was coming home having burnt up a couple of calories in the most scenic place, as you mentioned, in the world.
So nice to have the kids when you get back to the end of a finish line and not just be led off into the darkness to go and lie in a tent. You know, you've got your drinks waiting for you, you've got your family, you've got food. It's wonderful.
And for our winners, some great prize money over the weekend, 55,000 Rand. My Fit Life, thank you very much.
Yeah, really cool to give people something worthwhile to race for, because a lot of people come for the experience, but it's really cool to have the top guys pushing each other to the limit.
Talk about pushing the limit and winning the long course try in a record time. Matt Troutman coming down the beach towards the winning line, and a week before he had won the My Way Ultra at Midmar in a record time as well. So this man is on fire.
Yeah, he's not shy to race. His coach is famous for making his athletes race and train really hard. So no surprise for him to win there. And also to see Jean-Paul Berger, who's based in Stellenbosch, relatively unknown, but wow, what a performance he put on.
Well, he's a man for the future, there's no doubt about that, and he can look back at this race with a lot of pride.
Absolutely, and same was looking back with pride. 2:49 for Matt Troutman, amazing. I mean, Dan Hugo's record of 2:53 back in 2012 was, I thought, unbreakable because the conditions were perfect, but it just shows you how the talent and the bar is being raised all the time.
Well, and here comes everybody's hero at 40 years old, 4 times Xterra World Champion. He's been a great supporter of this race. The caveman once again getting himself on the podium.
Yeah, while the kids are looking after his kid, his wife Lisa waiting for him at the finish, he really embodies what it's all about. He's been doing it forever because he loves it. Yes, he's been winning and making a living, but he absolutely loves triathlon.
So there we go. In third, Conrad Stoltz. In second, young Jean-Paul Berger. But Matt Troutman, the man of the future, right here on the West Coast.
Yeah, and after a crazy tough mountain bike, it was Manfish Theo Blicknoot in third, Jean de Villiers and Anton van Heerden, an absolute legend, trail runner and multi-sport man.
The winner in the long course ladies try in her chock cow outfit, doing it for kids with cancer, Kelly van der Toorn. And in second place, the fast improving young triathlete Keelan from Breda, with Iron Mum Kelly van der Toorn. Once again another cup for the mantelpiece. His third place, Sue Gray. In second, Liesel Hobson. She won a Hoove wetsuit, by the way, of the weekend. But Tanya Robbie was the champion.
Yeah, and there's veteran Steve Atwell, famous Steve Atwell, head of Embark. There's huge numbers of coaching students following him.
Running down those long stairs and onto that soft sandy beach. And Dean Hoff, the man who got humiliated by Conrad on the bike, well, he finished fast into fourth place.
Yeah, it was only a matter of 20 seconds between them, so he was certainly on the hunt. And then Ian McGregor, a seasoned racer, disappearing between the beautiful rocks. He was first vet overall.
And all of the wonderful pictures of the weekend taken by the great world-class crew of Oakpix.
In fact, if you love triathlon or if you're at the event itself, there are 400 pictures on the West Coast Warm Water Weekend Facebook page. So go and like it, and if you raced, you can download each of those pictures free of charge.
So racing today, the day after my 40th birthday, and my 40th birthday party has been quite an event. Part of a big team of 6 of us racing, and I have an amazing group of spectators who all here to see me. It's been fabulous, and so finishing third has been awesome. I often race for fun, just to enjoy it. And today I've heard that I'm on the podium with prize money sponsored by My Way, and that's fantastic. Love it. Beautiful birthday present.
Well done, Ninka. And Colin van Zyl finishing off his day in the sun in absolute tri-paradise.
A mix of short, long course, mountain and road athletes coming in now. We had exceptional support from the clubs, obviously Embark leading the charge, but there's old Brit Stott coming in from Tri for All, a new club with great numbers as well. And then the perennial Jean de Villiers, super strong, showing the sign of the eland, giving it horns. And then everyone was allowed a free massage in the Deep Heat massage station. They had noon, they had butter, they could sit there, chill in the sun, chatting, sharing war stories. Lovely way to start the afternoon.
And the amazing crew from EPT massaging those tired legs back to life again.
And the crowds, we have a special system here where supporters can get a day pass. They can have meals, they can have massages, they get all the gifts. They got beautiful gift bags from MyFit Life. They got a backpack that turns into a beach stool. Inside it was a bottle of wine, there was a gift, there was a head torch. Really generous offering from MyFit Life this year. We thank them very much.
And all of our winners on the day, with Matt Troutman standing in the middle, proudly showing off their trophies, all their children.
Yeah, those horns are huge. Make no mistake, Kelly and Matt showing a bit of power, post-race power, to lift those massive kudu horns for the winners.
After an amazing evening at Geelbeck, where everybody bride, listened to live music, it was time for Sunday morning. The inclement weather had moved in, but for the swimmers, it was time to get into the water, either 3.8 kilometers, your standard Ironman distance, or a 1 mile swim.
So today was a 3.8k open water swim. The wind picked up, nice southeaster going, and it brings out some nice swell and very interesting swimming, and you can't see the buoys. I mean, you're up and down and you get tossed side to side, and it was this really challenging swim, but really amazing. I think this warm water weekend is an amazing time to get people together and for a good training session for the weekend, getting out here, training race conditions. It's really amazing to see everybody out and having fun and completing a very tough 3.8k swim.
Well, there we go. What Theo forgot to mention was that he won a quick 5,000 Rand for winning the 3.8 kilometer swim. Probably one of the best prizes in swimming in the country.
Yeah, and the swimmers responded. They came out, and it was a great lesson in sighting, going through those choppy waves.
The future of Warm Water Weekend will be to make sure that we keep the competitive racing snakes and the families, the entry-level experientials. I'm just doing it because it's so beautiful to swim, cycle and run in a nature reserve together, interacting together, staying together, and not just arriving, racing, packing up and going home. So that's our challenge. As long as we have this amazing venue, we're never going to be able to take a big crowd. It simply can't host big numbers, and people love that. People love the intimacy and the fact that you can run with an eland next to you, with the sound of nobody else but a bird in the sky. We had great results. A lot of top athletes had a great day out. The families had a great day out. The Sprogs had a great day at the Splash and Dash. So everyone who came here as a spectator, a family, a child, an athlete, had an experience that I don't believe you can get almost anywhere in the world. It's the most beautiful location. It's 80 k's from Cape Town, very accessible, and there's something for everybody. Short races, we had mountain bike races, road bike races, long races, short races, long swim this morning for the guys doing Ironman. We had a 3.8k swim, we had a mile, and there's something for everybody.
So the top three in the 3.8 kilometer swim without a wetsuit: Ashley Cantor. In second place, world-class Matt Troutman, but none faster than the Dolphin, Theo Blechnout.
And the overall short swim winner, surprisingly, Mr. Trail Runner, Anton van Heerden.
Laura Fury winning the ladies. For all of our winners, lovely kudu horns are handed out on the beach. And what an amazing weekend it's been. For those of you who came and conquered, come back next year. For those of you who want to come, look at the Facebook page for the West Coast Warm Water Weekend and be with us next year.